What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is having a fantastic start to their week. It's Monday night, and we got a very special guest backstage. We're basically going to speak with one of the most influential high school football coaches, I believe, in the nation, St. Thomas Aquinas. I think they're probably the most prolific high school football program in the United States, hands down. Ross, why don't you bring out and introduce our guests to the viewers watching?
We have got Coach Roger Harriot, the head coach at St. Thomas Aquinas.
Coach Harriot, welcome to the Scoop. It really is an honor and privilege to have you on.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Coach Harriot, I got to ask, we had your athletic director, Twan Russell, come on. I believe I asked him this question as well. Does it ever hit you when you wake up in the morning and you ever say to yourself, I'm representing the most prolific, historic high school football program in the United States of America?
I'm grateful. I definitely am. I feel like it's a tremendous blessing. I had the privilege to be affiliated with St. Thomas growing up, and I graduated from there and learned a lot, about life and faith and family, football, and, it was a tremendous experience, and it's enabled me to become the person I am today. So, to have an opportunity to be, leading the football program now is a tremendous blessing.
How did that opportunity arise when the head coaching position was open?
Jeez, I don't believe in coincidence. I think things just really happen by God's grace. I really don't think God makes mistakes. I was coaching at FAU at the time, and my father came down with cancer, and my daughter was going through her recruiting process for soccer, and just me, being family oriented, I just felt like I needed to take a step away from college football and, focus on my family and help my mom and my siblings take care of my father and go through the recruiting process for my daughter. And, jumped into travel, a hospitality travel, a new travel company. And they asked me to come in and be their vice president. So I got into the corporate world, in that February. And, the job opened up at St. Thomas after I already committed to another job, and they, Coach Smith just, waited it out. He waited me out, and, through a tremendous amount of prayer and, just family discussions, I decided to, accept the job. It just felt like something that was, necessary and the right move for me to do. So I accepted the job in March, and the rest is history. I've been here ever since. That was March 2015.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, describe what kind of coach you are. Like who are you? What makes you passionate about getting out there and making sure your guys do the best they possibly can on a week-by-week basis, and possibly some of your coaching philosophies as well?
I'm more fixated on the holistic development, from a spiritual and a humanistic standpoint. I really believe when you're servicing people, regardless of the industry, you have an opportunity to make an impact in their life in a meaningful way. My message is more about the ministry and the mission. I'm an avid educator, so I believe there's always opportunities to share information with other community members and leaders. I feel like there's constant learning, and with the intention of love and leadership. I just feel like there's an ontological collaboration that we all share, as humans. And I feel blessed to have an opportunity to impact young men in a positive way and teach them the power of being compassionate and showing affection to one another. And we're able to do it through a pretty intense environment through football, a competitive atmosphere. From a football standpoint, we understand the importance of the X's and O aspect, and pulling together the three phases of the game and helping them understand the fourth phase with regards to brotherhood and representing each other in more of a benevolent way can cultivate a more of a therapeutic type of environment, which ultimately breeds a substantial amount of confidence and allows us to perform at a high level. And as a result of it, we're able to generate some real opportunities for our guys to interconnect with one another. We're a strong believer in interdependence. We feel like the team atmosphere is more of a family oriented type of endeavor, and we're able to connect with each other in a positive way and set a positive example. I mean, one of our biggest attributes as coaches, I challenge my coaches to be parents with our players and fundamentalists, and just make sure that we're getting back to basics with regards to the importance of working to serve one another in a healthy manner, and we believe that winning on and off the field provides substantial success and enables our players to truly become productive members of society and ultimately champions in their life. So we kind of use this as a platform. We understand that we have to put in a tremendous amount of administrative and technological work in order to meet our strategic objectives, with putting them in the best position possible to win. Um, as a result of it, we have their attention, and when that happens, they really become a source of inspiration for one another. You understand how their actions are a benefit to one another and an inspiration. So that's pretty much the basis of our structure and our traditions at St. Thomas. A lot of people think it's really predicated on talent. There's talent all over South Florida. I think where we really separate ourselves is how we represent and love one another, and hold each other accountable to a much higher standard.
How was this last season for STA? I know you guys ultimately came out good, but what were some of the ups and downs you guys experienced?
Um, it's always challenging. I believe that every team has a different personality, and it's up to us to cultivate the necessary character traits in order to be successful. And you know, some of the challenges we face are really driven from some of the advancements in technology, particularly social media. I think it's a huge benefit, obviously, but trying to put our guys in position to be humble when they're attracting so much attention becomes a struggle at times, and we have to realize that you know being successful is a work in progress. But sometimes, you know, these likes and these retweets, they begin to glorify themselves. It's difficult because they're young, and we have to help them understand that the media has their place too. They have a job to do, and it's a blessing to get a substantial amount of attention, but you have to manage and balance it. And once they get humbled, it becomes advantageous, I think, to their progression. Moving forward, you always have to work in order to continue to be successful and achieve anything that has any type of accomplishment.
Coach Harriot, I think he froze, but we'll get him back on with the connection. Um, Oh, he's
I
back.
can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us? Can you hear us now? Better?
Hello?
Can you hear us now? Okay. Let me bring him back. How's that? Is that better now? Ross, you hear me?
Yeah. Are you able to hear me, Coach? Huh. And something went off with his headphones.
Well, let's try to get him back to. Let's get Coach Harriot to sign in and sign back on. We'll get it
Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah.
Let's try to do that.
Hello?
Yep. Can you hear us? We can hear you.
That's weird.
That's interesting. All right.
Weird.
Try Ross, send him a text message and we'll try to sign him in and sign him back out. Coach Harriet. Yeah, because we can hear him, he just can't hear us. And of course, we're looking forward to St. Thomas Aquinas. This upcoming high school football season. If anyone's not familiar, they are home to 13 state titles and 3 national championships. So it is a very prolific high school in the United States. All right.
I sent him a text.
All right. Let's try to get him, put him backstage, and then we'll bring him back on.
Yeah,
But Ross,
first time.
let's talk about St. Thomas Aquinas Senior High School. Brian Suarez is there, Jason Hammond as well. Let's see if Coach Harriet's good to go. Oh, he's coming back on. But man, these guys, they just produce talent in Broward County and South Florida. This is a dynasty. We've interviewed their AD, Twan Russell, their head coach now. We'll get him on back. He's coming on now. Coach Harry, we're good now?
He's on mute. You're on mute.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. We're good to go?
We're good.
Awesome. All right. I was going to ask you, Coach Harriet, St. Thomas Aquinas, 13 state championships, 3 national titles. Every college football coach is coming to your high school to speak with your players as a leader of young men and a mentor, to these young men, a part of your football program. What advice do you give them throughout the recruiting process in choosing the right academic institution for them to play football?
The first thing I always tell them and their parents, and I even talk to the college coaches about it. I feel like there's a spiritual component to this, and I always encourage them to pray, through the process, and then talk and discuss things with those that they have a close relationship with, and put together some significant pros and cons through the process and make an educated family decision. So that's kind of where we stand with regards to making decisions. It's never easy, but I'm a firm believer that they should really focus on the schools that love them. Don't chase offers. Focus on those institutions that are showing you the most attention, and you feel like it's a positive fit for you, because it's going to be somewhere where you have to spend a substantial amount of your time moving forward.
Love that. No, absolutely. Especially at a young age, it's a very tough decision, to choose where you want to play college football 3 to 4 years. So, no, I definitely, those were very encouraging words, Coach Harriet. I'm glad you're a mentor to these young men and you're able to assist in that aspect. Coach Harriet, walk us through a day I guess, a typical practice day and itinerary for your high school football players,
Mm-hmm.
playing for St. Thomas Aquinas, and what makes you guys so great? I'm sure it's a full schedule, so I would love to hear a day in the life of a football player at St. Thomas Aquinas.
It is. It's a full schedule from the moment we wake up in the morning. We have something that we promote called the holistic plan for success, which is pretty much a game plan on how you should interact with your family and the importance of leaving the house in a positive note. We believe in objectives and goals. We feel like that it's important to meet certain objectives in order to reach your goals, and having it putting forth an equation of success is something that you can actually inspire and educate student athletes to focus on. Developing confidence obviously takes a substantial amount of work, and the more pats on the back you get just from making appropriate decisions, being a good person, and doing the right thing, the better you're going to feel about yourself. And as you progress throughout the process of your day, you're ultimately going to develop a tremendous amount of confidence, and that confidence should enable you to perform at a high level. So we feel like there's definitely a spiritual element and an actual humanistic science to it. We just try to better our guys as they progress from home to school, and we just once they are preparing for practice, we take more of a professional approach with regards to what to expect from a collegiate or even a professional standpoint. So, once school is out, we encourage them to go to extra help and um, do any type of tutoring, to make sure that you get that aspect of it in place to just from an intellectual and a neurological standpoint. And then we get into football. We have meetings, whether it's about the film session, our opponent, or the install for that day. So we'll have a 20-minute meeting, and then we'll go on the field and walk through it. So we try to cover every type of learning style. And once we feel we're in a pretty good place, we do all of our pre-practice regiment, whether it's kick returners with the punters and the kickers, and the quarterbacks with the long snappers. I mean, it's just one component after the other. We do mesh period. The receivers are going through some pre-practice drills, and then we'll go through a flex period, which is basically calisthenics, and then from there we'll do one part of special teams, and then from special teams into a competitive period to get the juices going. Where we try to keep our players healthy. We don't do a whole lot of live periods, and when we do competitive 1-versus-1, we keep a quick whistle. We want to make sure our guys are healthy. And for the other periods, whether it's individual period or any other compete or competitive periods, we focus on the game plan itself and get it, and we finish off with scout team and conditioning. So we're extremely high tempo. We may have an hour and 45 minutes of practice depending on the day. Obviously Mondays and Tuesdays are our heaviest days, and as we get to Wednesday, we kind of pull the game plan together, and by Thursday we just tighten everything up and really focus on the more philosophical aspect of the team to make sure that they're representing themselves well. So there's a lot of strategic, mental, spiritual, philosophical training that goes into play with the physical aspect of it. The X's and O's is one part, but we strongly believe taking an academic approach helps our guys to execute with confidence, and they understand the importance of serving and holding each other accountable, which transcends into a disciplined type of performance, which is really difficult to beat, because there's nothing um, self absorbed about it. It's really focused on, team and family serving each other to the best of our ability with a great effort. When you take that type of approach, it's really difficult to beat that force of that interdependent force in nature.
How do you identify and develop leadership on your team? Because I'm a big believer in leadership.
That's a good question. We, most teams, they focus their off season on, you know, getting bigger, stronger, and faster. We do the same,
Yeah.
but we're really focused on senior leadership. We're senior leadership heavy. We believe it's the seniors' responsibility to take ownership of the team. So we do something called senior leadership sessions from February all the way through July, and we'll do a session once a month. And the sessions consist of guest speakers that, um, well, the session has lessons to it. So each session has two character traits. So, for example, our most recent senior leadership was on being trustworthy and integrity. We break down the definition of it, do a self evaluation, and then we have some discussion questions, and then they have an essay, and it's their responsibility as senior leaders to share the information that they learned with their underclassmen in their particular position. We also bring in guest speakers that are focused on social media and how to best brand and represent themselves. You know, just in general, because that's the culture that we live in today. We live in an era of transparency, and the advancements in technology has enabled us to do some extraordinary things. So we use that to our advantage, but we help them understand the importance of managing and representing each other in the world of social media. We also bring in a financial advisor. So the the person who does the social media, you guys might know him. His name is James Walker. He's an ESPN analyst, and he's also a journalist for the Dolphins. Mike Kahn is responsible for the financial advising aspect of it. So we talk a lot about, financial literacy and the importance of managing your money and being responsible. And we tie that in to these components. And then we'll bring in a guest speaker, um, former players. Ronnie Brown is supposed to be the next guest speaker for our next senior leadership, and he does programs on financial literacy and how to not only manage your money, but how to be responsible within a very competitive, convoluted society. So we do the senior leadership component has been a tremendous asset for us. It has enabled our seniors to understand the importance of being responsible role models on the and off the field, not only on the team as team members, but within their community, at home, within the school, and it's definitely been advantageous to our overall development. It's been a huge asset for us. But that's how we develop our leaders each year. Then they create their own personality, their own theme. But we have a number of character traits that we review with them. Responsibility, respect, citizenship, integrity, trustworthiness, care, fair, diligence, and so forth. We have 10 of them, and we do them over the course of several months.
My next question actually kind of goes right along with this, goes along with the leadership stuff. Do you have a preferred method for choosing captains? Is there something, or is there something you want to
Another,
see exactly?
another,
Yeah.
it's another good question because, typically, you'll get these popularity contests, and while we were growing up, either the coaches would select them or the players will select them. But I think we have a pretty good routine system in place that has enabled us to select the appropriate captains, and we basically allow the team to vote. It's a team vote, and the coaches really don't get involved other than counting up the ballots. And there have been times where, you know, captains have not met the standard and the, 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 the actual expectation of, you know, being a captain, and they had to be removed and replaced. But we are very therapeutic in how we manage the leadership component of our team. Again, like I said, it's senior oriented, so we give everyone an opportunity to be a captain at some point. But you know, declaring your 4 to 5 captains becomes, you know, pretty clear. Sometimes it's close, but we have not had the issue of selecting 4 or 5 guys that really stand out, you know, overall with regards to the different aspects and components that we require, which is character, attitude, and performance. And we also have honorary captains throughout the year, you know, so we give other seniors an opportunity to demonstrate leadership, and you know, the beauty of it is they're the actual captains select the honorary captain, which is a real cool peer responsibility. But you know, I'm a strong believer that it's imperative for us to educate our youth to understand the most powerful form. There's 2 very powerful forms of influence in our humanistic society. One is peer pressure. You know, it doesn't matter the age. Human beings are just innately want to be accepted as who we are. Um, we try to act like we're not a pack type of species, but we are. We need each other in order to progress. You know, we just don't treat each other right. The greatest resource on this earth are human beings, without a doubt. We're the ones who, you know, created technology. We created the plane. We created all these extraordinary things that we're so fascinated by. But we're different in so many ways. And the sooner we realize the the benefits that we all have, you know, with regards to collaborating with one another and how our strengths and weaknesses complement each other, the better this world will eventually be. The other form of influence that I think is tremendous that we really don't utilize as much, and it's crazy because, you know, our governmental system is based on democracy, and one of the greatest forms of influence is majority. You know, but we allow ourselves to be compromised, maybe because we live a very comfortable life here in the United States, and we probably don't understand the importance of collaborating and holding some of these elected officials accountable for a greater good. But I think our younger population is starting to open their eyes up a little bit. But at the end of the day, they still need, you know, elderly wisdom. We just need to do a better job of working in collaboration with each other to provide a better direction. And for me, that's one of the beauties that we're able to establish in football. So, you know, I think football is a great tool. I think it's a great industry that holds a tremendous amount of attention. I've been working with a number of organizations to help, you know, alleviate some of the issues that we're facing in the NFL right now with some of the discrimination that we've allowed ourselves to be subjected to. Some of the inequities that are happening over skin complexion is just, if you guys think about it, it's ridiculous. You know, it's been centuries now, and we still subject ourselves to certain issues and circumstances over skin complexion issues. But I think once we continue to evolve and understand that there is something called cultural comfort, when we begin to understand each other a little bit a little better, and realize that we do speak the same language, not only literally, but we do figuratively. We just need to learn how to appreciate each other more. That's what we're trying to teach our players what to do. And I think as a result of it, we create a love environment, which is a difficult force to overcome. Especially when you got a group of men that actually really love each other and realize that their strengths are here to complement their teammates' weaknesses and vice versa. And we just go out there and play hard for one another. But ultimately it becomes a brotherhood, and they become friends and brothers for life. But we definitely have a lot of work to do. But what else? As long as we're breathing air, what else are we going to do?
For all our viewers who are really big into high school football, follow St. Thomas Aquinas religiously and South Florida football as a whole, who are some players to look out for this upcoming season?
Hmm.
In your eyes, to it's going to make a big impact for your football team.
Oh man, it's hard. Is those are difficult questions because you're talking to somebody that honestly believes that each player has plays a tremendous impact. However, from a general standpoint, we have a battle. We'll have a healthy battle going on at quarterback. Jake Lewin is returning as our backup. He did a really good job last year with regards to backing up Zion Turner. Tyler Aronson is a quarterback that is getting a lot of attention and learning how to get acclimated. Again, we have a competitive environment, a brotherhood that helps support each other. We have a stable of running backs. Um, you have Jamari Sands and Jordan Lyle and Xavier Terrell, my nephew Josh Harriot, Jordan Clemens just joined the crew. We have a number of offensive linemen that do a great job, led by Brody Sobolinski, this is going to be his third year starting for us. He plays a variety of positions up front. We have a couple of really good tight ends, in uh, Takai Kirby, that's Terry Kirby's son, Christian Strong, though they should be an asset for us as we move into various personnel groupings like 11 and 12 personnel. So they'll be able to do some great things with them. And then we have a great group of receivers, led by Isaiah Harge, who's a three-year player on the varsity team, and you have James Madison, you have Chance Robinson, and you have Ethan Shaw, Miles Moss, and Jalen Benelli. We have a number of guys that do a group of things from an offensive attack standpoint. So we are going to be able to execute, effectively from different formations and personnel grouping. On the defensive side, you probably recognize names like King Mack and Conrad Hussey, the two safeties with Kamari Robinson, but we have some new guys that are on the rise. You have Jerry Johnson, who plays a number of positions, from the secondary to, in the box. He's extremely versatile, big, strong athlete. And then you have Nick Rodriguez, a young, up and coming young player who played a number of snaps last year. He'll be featured more at linebacker this year. You have a few young guys in the defensive backfield that are hungry for playing time, that I think they're going to have a tremendous season in Ryan Mack, Earl Culp, Samaj Jackson. And so we definitely have some guys that are going to do some extraordinary things in that. And in the front seven, we have Jason Hammond, we have Jordan Bosford, we have Keyshawn Johnson, we have Devin Pine, his little brother David. We have Zakai Saez, and It's just we're fortunate to have real depth, and then that doesn't even include the JV guys who are developing, throughout the off season and are definitely gonna make a push. You have Trevor Summers, um, who is definitely gonna make an impact this year. So we have a number of guys that's gonna do some tremendous things for us.
Before we let go of Coach Harriet, Ross, did you have any other questions for him?
Yeah, I got one question here for Coach.
Mhm.
Why do you love the game of football? Why do you absolutely love it to the fullest? I ask this question to every person we bring on here, every single one.
You asked some really good questions that really speak to more of the spiritual and philosophical component of me. The X's and O's aspects of the game is the inevitable. You enjoy it. It's intense. It's definitely challenging. It's thought provoking. I think uh, we play more chess than we do checkers, and like I said, we take an academic approach. But to be truthful with you, I want to be clear. I enjoy football. I do. I enjoy the actual sport. Um, but Ross, I love what the sport has enabled us to do, for the development of those that we lead and we coach. I love the coaches. I love the players. They are the actual game to me. I try to help my players understand the importance of the interconnection aspect of it. Football is a game. It's this oval ball that creates so much complexity, and you can't you can't love football back, but you can love each other. So I try to keep things in perspective for our players, not to get so caught up in the drama and the dramatics, superficial component of the game. I'm going to be truthful with you. I I uh, I hate losing a lot more than I love winning. Um, I think it's a blessed expectation to go out there and compete, and it's a hurtful experience when you put forth a lot of time and effort. And I think it's important to work extremely hard to avoid that feeling of defeat. However, there are some learning lessons, with regards to how to manage that aspect of life. So I think that football is really the closest um, sport when it comes to uh, adverse circumstances, and when you're going through these psychological seismic shifts in the actual experience in life. They say that football is the closest thing to war. Um, so it becomes extremely difficult because it's a sport of physicality, and you feel like you need to protect each other. But I love what it's about. I love what it can do for those who are involved, and I actually love the people that you connect with and cultivate meaningful and healthy relationships with. So football is a tremendous it's a tremendous outlet, and it definitely helps you understand the importance of utilizing adversity to um, become motivated through difficult circumstances.
Absolutely. Paula, that was the last question I had.
Well, hey, Coach Harriet, we greatly appreciate your time and taking time out of your busy schedule to come on our show. It was really an honor and a privilege, to speak with you and just hear your words of wisdom and your guidance of being a mentor at one of at the most prolific high school football program.
Thank you.
and
I
make.
appreciate it. No, I appreciate
Absolutely.
that, guys, with all honesty. And I enjoy you guys and what you do. Keep it up. We're grateful for your support and your passion and love and commitment to our community. Go Canes.
Go Canes. Love that. Coach Harriot of St. Thomas Aquinas Senior High School. Coach Harriot, have a great rest of your day, and thank you again. Best of
Thank
luck this
you.
season. Alrighty. Coach Roger Harriot, the head football coach of St. Thomas Aquinas High School football. 13 state titles, 3 national championships. I can do a whole show of the amount of NFL players they produced and great college football players.
He is definitely an intellectual when it comes to being a coach. You know, like he mentioned, it's not just the X's and O's. It's so much more deeper than that for him. That's when you start getting into some special coaching, possibly, especially when guys do it the right way. He's proving he can do it the right way.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed the show tonight. I hope everyone has a blessed rest of their week. And always, all about the U. Go Canes. Take care, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.